lenam sela dún tá mac tucha dún. Tá ceannas ar a gúlan agus slífor córlór iontuch In anamanagar san vicar san spirit name. Grostor Jerry Christ agus Grod James common spirit name live Galir. Agus a fáitse agus muid taki gotí bord an Chernan, bord Gial, an majin specialta seo, majin lá Nollag. Agus Dini tá Angelin as an Tríjan Adrian Freshen, a fáitse mór hugif agus Kibe áitse bhfuil siad chimplan down. Agus muid ag Calúró an tapan seo Séipéil Réalt na mara sna bhForbacha. Tásúlam nach rá an maidin ro ciún ar maidin gur tháinig Santa ar tháinig agus gur rá begnin turnan ní rá sé chuil ciún as a bhí sé réir bhí sé do creití réir chimpla ar ní clog clog ní rá carb le feicáil. So tá Gerald leis an Jeffer agus chun an ócáid seo a Calúró go mór sa bhaile chuile tláán na teach le chéile. Ar dús tug me sear beici chun cuimhne ónas gobíú sin an tafra na Calúró. Adhrín de cútach agus tíh feici me go thromdas mínas le bríthir le gríomh agus le fallí trim a chorhéin, trim a bhórcóir a héin. Ar an ábhar sin bud is séróg ar na hanglas ar na nébhas or se bhráthra, cuir ma hang na tíir na tí. Go níana dí le cúta tróchra oring gwaith sé ar beici dún agus go tróirí sé chun na bethe séirí sin. A hir na gin tróchra, a chríos gin tróchra, a hir na gin tróchra. Glóda díos na háda agus ar tarabh sí chandalach de fortse, morimíú, airimíú, tugamis glórguid, gamid buchas letas ach de bhór glóra. A hir na ddírí na bhlachas a dhé ar na cúchtaí, a hir na Enrici is the Christ, hir the June, J. Machanahar. Tos a hogan Pecky and down, Gentropra Orin. Pecky and down, Black and with it. Tos a tad here, Yeshanahar, Gentropra Orin, or as 2-1 is Nefes, 2-1 is Chirna, 2-1 is Roar, these the Christ, but Enish the Spirit Nave in Lord J. and Tahar. Amen. Agus Guimish. I hear the J. Mullenwich who mar gur crohi tú an duine agus níos fearna sin gur cuirt tú ina croch héin a rí sé I gríost. Bhí the walk I báirt linn in our lágar gur a muide I báirt leisin ina glóra sinné an bhfuil a thugat trí gríost ardíarna. Agus bain na réchtaí ag na niis ar maidin céad lécht písa álín na cálín na le sléit I costa teachtra a will Jash Gela Lish. How lovely on the mountains are the feet of the one who bears good news. And Kedlicht.
An Kedlicht slucht as litter Isaiah. Fekk ik sricho illen na krunje tarala orne. Nach allen na sleefte kosse an te a will Josh Gela Lish. Síchan á chréile aige, mahas á ógurt aige, fuascailt á chréile aige, á rá lesaíon. Tá de dhí tar éis teachta réim, éist. Tá de locht feire ag ardú an glóir. Ag liúrach le chachas an éanacht, or is léir dóibh le na húla cín, an tíarna ag fille hion. Scartig I amach le chachas, a bhalóg is Jerusalem, mar tá an tíarna ag thuirt sólas gá winter, tá sé ag fuascailt Jerusalem. Tá an tíarna ag nochta a láimh an nuifa, os cóir súla na giniacha go léir, agus feice cineacha ile na talún, berta tárála orné. Sin bríthir dé.
An salm lef seagre, sin seagre ná. Ave, ave, stu Mates Banahu, snach de isla suele clay. Ave stum hortis banahu, shed of our gloria. Mes glovi te share of ontanri, te reja holla genter lammer she. Ave stum hortis banahu, shed of our gloria. Imel hörstable lorna he, imancher for Christianry. Ave stum hortis banahu, shed of our gloria.
An dar a leocht, lauer dia lenne linje rin de wak. Lauer dia geminnig agus het litje eiksel anlood. Leis na herachui tri vihin na wache. As na lehenti jarnach seo, lauer sé lin trin de wak. On te e chapse in de ire an ille rinne agus ille ni agus sin tríd a rinne se agus a bhfuilán. Is sé scála glóide agus cló a hobstainte é. Is sé a choníon an chruinne bun lena bhríthar bríomhar. Tar éis dó ar becaí a glána, chuis an na hí dhéisté sna háta. Agus fuair sé gradam an éirid céanna níos uisle ná na hangle is atá an tanim a fuair sé mar airecht níos uisle ná an nanim siúd. Or cé acu go na hangle a dúirt sé, is tú mo wach inniu a dhin me hú, agus I ríist, bei me I mahirige agus bei sisan in a wach amsa. Agus I ríist eile, na de cheol sé an chéad génisteach sa síl, dúirt sé leis, agus sléachta angel ili dé rive. Sin ebreir dé. Glór go dhéas na háda an uachtar neve, agus síochan tala go bhaintir bhuileach nuí.
Gospel passages, the opening verses of John's Gospel. The Word became flesh and dwelt among us. Go down cheer na live. Tan slachtas an soskil nef at the rare nevon. Agan tus vi an brihar an enach de gia agus by an brihar gia. Vi si an o hús an enach de gia rinnu quilla rud tríd agus níor hánig tada an da úrasa. Bhí an batha an agus ba an bheithe sin solas na déine. Tá solas ag scartú san dorachtas agus níor éad an dorachtas an ceannas fearr á An solas fíor thugan léargus go chuile gine. Bhí sé teacht ar an saoil agus bhí sé ar an saoil agus tríide rinú an saoil. Ach níor etní an saoil é. Tháinig sé go dtí an chuid hen agus níor tlach go bhuiintear hen leis. A chuile gine tlach leis iad seo a creid ina anam thug sé de cumascóp go ndéon fi tlanjé díomh. I seot ná rugú ó hé fola ná tel fiala, ná as tel an gine ach ó dhé. Agus rinne fiol den bríthar as choní sé an ar measc agus tháinig muide glóra ein vic anahar, lán de grosta agus de irna, sosgel jay. Sigi nómad mashtag. Agus fáil sirísh margin specialta seo, agus Tasúlam de Gwil Jeffrey Biogar Dini Gomormor Dini Thai Gober Sikishtin margin fáil réile an féle specialta Vinsang Gwilala Nollag agus an féle seo Taisa Gwibas Dis Muna féle Vinsang Gwilala Marni Awan Brisho Ron Le Kela Sawaya Hakle were Muicher Ta Scapi Chimplan down freshen House equivalent freshen Ardini Ta Hershkina Firna. That today is a very sort of precious day, as was this night. In some ways, the country holds its breath for a moment, takes a time out after the rush, and after a long year and a difficult year. And the need for that time out, rest time, to recharge the batteries so as to face into another challenging year ahead of us. And tiredness can set in, so I hope that this Christmas holiday will be a time where that rest will be found so as to be strong into the future. This day, as well, as I said, is much bigger than just people at home. It's a day as well where you're very much aware of family and extended family spread throughout the world, many of whom will be making contact with you today, I'm sure. And many of family who haven't been able to come because of COVID and the restrictions thought it might be safer not to come, especially with the new variant that's there. What's most important, that we try to travel safely and to travel well. Very precious time when we drop our guard to be with loved ones for resting with the Lord. And I suppose it's part of the Christian message, that sense that they're very much present with us in their absence. To feel that presence today in your hearts as you celebrate together in Yield Cuimhne. The Gospel passage is an iconic piece. It's one that would be so familiar to people. The Word became flesh and dwelt among us. The second reading from Hebrews talks about God revealing himself in times past through the prophets, but then sort of looking for this extraordinary means of revealing himself eventually. Extraordinary, but also very ordinary. And the crib, the scene of the crib, it's a scene that so many families can associate with. Small child being cared for by Mary and Joseph. Later on, as Christ's child begins to grow up and develop, he begins to talk aloud and speak on behalf of justice and right, cares for those who are broken, tries to bring healing. And we celebrate that public ministry on his part during especially Easter time and during the year, the liturgical year. But the crib itself is a powerful statement for us that so essential, that sense of the strong caring for the weak. And we can think of weak in so many different capacities. The young people here, the old, the elderly. I shouldn't be saying that because I might be that bracket myself. But those who are sort of in need of support and help. I think of people who are weak in many other ways as well, be it through sickness, through ill health, who are dependent on others. And we think of those who are destitute in so many ways here in this country and other countries. And the horrific state of the lives of people in some of the third world countries. But also the displacement of people at this time because of that unrest that lies in so many parts of the world. But in our own capacity, that sense of the extra effort that's got to do with care at this time, very much case in the school. Sean will talk about it at length if I let him, but I won't today. Let you take a rest. And those of you working in the hospitals, as you know, that not only the caring and the healing, but also doing it in a way that is relatively safe. So the prayer this Christmas, I suppose, my prayer is that you continue to feel that's called to do what you do best, and that you can do so in a caring way and in a safe way. The Word became flesh and dwelt among us. It's a statement I'm looking for, which I possibly won't find out with a few notes I have here. It was a quote from John of the Cross, and the page is somewhere else. But he talks about feeling the sublime intimacy of God in our hearts. We talk about Emmanuel, God with us. That we can open our hearts to the loving presence of God, to feel the strength and the energy of that connection. Later on during the year, a lot of the children will be talking about communion, coming for their first communion. But we're in communion with God all times, because God is in communion with us. We'll feel that in our hearts. We don't feel it in our heads. So have that sense of God with us as we journey on. So by an creaach na nishmash of the hell. Trejam an NGO one, Tara le Kutuk, and Navagas Talov, Ididi, so Ekia, agus the Wekia. Agus the Chirna one is the Christ and Wak J. On Te Rugo and Ahar Sorrow and Senan, Geo Ye Sodas a Hoda Sphere Ye or Ear Ye. Take Ginogus not Yarnos to the substance Lesson Ahar, Three Rillan Ilani, Era Sanan Kinadena, Sonor Slana, Hardin Shio Nav. You call it like Cooked and Spirit Navy, run the white wearer as Lakshin out of the Dana. Case from Grisha freshener our son. Don't you posh we punch a speed as at Lakaway. That year in Trasklother in the scripture. Who's so nav Tawna here, Yershan Ahar. Chukshana Hurfleet Lord, who's Hurt Sharp Yogas or Marav, Nibai Jelad and a Realt. Tried with the spirit there, Cherna was brunt on the Baha. Got Ted Lushnod Ahars on walk. Though Irogas Glor, Morevish Maras Lishmbach. It's allowed through the Fatia. Tried with the Nenaglish Nef, Catholic Spalda. I'll be the Bosch to one, Kamachas the Baki. Tommy Sula Hershin and Maros, La Bahan Thiel, Talit Shacht. Amen. Ahara Veshnish Lenar Nakaniacha, Three Christ or Jirna.
Siadid Padracha, bhForbacha, an Majin all in special to show. Hirna, Yarti or Gredja, agus Medi or Garanacht, so Gujurum with finish in our Maha Christ or Dirna, Hirna Ishlin.
Here we can sing Ishlin.
Ersan our gorgeous our winter at I Kelura Lininov. Go good a dia Valcha Yassi the Goni, Hirna Ishlin.
Here we can sing Ishlin.
Godogum with Idir Ogus Easter, Boychosquia Guni, Erson on Tlani or a Hiola Hogun. Here in Aifrinn.
Here we can sing Ishlin.
Godogum with Cad Gun Sushkel, with a Woundlu, with a Shoru, Agus with a Holosu. Here in Aifrinn.
Here we can sing Ishlin.
Erson the Shichana, Gora Shichan in our Dali, Sitir Shaganya, Agus her fodder down wars. Here in Aifrinn.
Here we can sing Ishlin.
Go good on seal Guler Anna Christ, Agus Gora Luchard or in Hawar. Here in Aifrinn.
Here we can sing Ishlin.
Son Elena at Hatin, Gwaished Kuna agus Solos in a Gredje. Ma Samale, no in an hospital iad. Eran with your year, Bishop a horse hob, so Guiska Mesha the Edashid Shanley Merish, Golua, here in Aifrinn.
Here we can sing Ishlin.
Son Amarov, Gyda gwyn tierna seamless shiri gan o dyn fada ta imi y wain sa bobl sio. Cwyr me mo iad hen sy'n oeraf yn sy'n maid yn uniof.
A Hiarna.
Wyt ti ger cwrlysyn e? Wyt ti ger cwrlysyn? Golon rhys solos agos solos yn ar gry agos ys o flahys a Hiarna eisling.
Just maybe Sean Keshin or just on a size Tasha Kojas Gwil on relic Nui Teva Lesson Séipéil Shaw. It's become a sacred ground and a holy ground for so many people who come to pay their respects to loved ones for resting there. It's always amazing to walk through it. So many young people who are resting there as well. So we give thanks for the work people in the past who did so much work to make it available to us so that we can sort of feel close to those in a sort of a very physical way of being there present to honour them and to fondly remember. A Hiarna Eishlin. Aharnav Glachlin or Nachanliacha Three Christ or Hiarna. Agus Gwivig Ivrad og Gnachji and Tarla Kota Lish Nibrisha Wemsha Agus Websha. Amen. A Yele Kuti Hanik Rechu Kidger Muich Agus Tu Inyal Ermed Rina Christ Le Mujislanu. An Offrol Shahanyu Gugurishi Shiachan or Faldun as a Nui Rish Agus Gidugishi Molog Witcha Shine Armebahovet Three Christ or Chirna. Scrun Chirna live Togi Giwugri and Orja. Skamish Buikas Lish Chirna Gia. Scartix is Cordon Gajevin is Quios is terrible Buikas the Gaulat the Heroes in Akha Chirna Aharnefa. A Yeda Kuti Hiri or three Rune Jibra and Brihuri Godin Quirtosalis Nui the Flora. A Lunru or Hula or Nagna. Honest Scoofir Aishin con Grahuch Gonamahasi da Ekya. Three Atna Quirer Gia so Ekya. Emishin Morenish na Hanglas Lish na Hardnang Lish na Throne of Lish the Cheerness. House La Slucha Ida the Vlahish Calmage Doon to the floor. Horror, Ganstad. Is Nefa who here the Cheerness slow. Tanavalis Talavlon to the floor, Hosannas na Harda. Spanning Tatai Chakna and Cheerna, Hosannas na Harda. I hear the Gias Nefa who go fearnach is too tubber than Nef the Galair. Nevi Marshinim can be church in the Brunton shall let truth the spirit. Convenient for even our gore corpus will the vicar journeys the Christ. Dolishi and Fosh the Yon Hennex Revisha who Susk the Hesta, Hogshe Antaron. Goshe Buikas lat Frischen Tron of the Sugdi Yeshkipul E Oro, Flakiki as he ille Esha, or sé siom a chorp a harfur bhórsan. An gwi chéad éis an tapad thug sé an calis gal sé buchas leat rís agus thudaí eiscipal í ará. Flachaigh is ólaigh leiste seo or sa seo calis an cuid falla fulin ó himna héirí. Dúirtfaí bhór san agus ó sanna cin déine chun maitas na beci déanaigh é seo í cuimhna ormsa. Agus fógam is rún díomhar an creidir a isa fuairtú básar ar san Jerry tú a warh agus tugaí tú rís. De réir sinna chéar na dé cuimhna dún ar bháis agus ar a séirí Christ a bhráilmid cuid seorán na batha agus calis an plánathe scaimid buchas leat tusk gur fiú leit sin a bheithan ar seasa de láthir ag fónmh cuid. Irimid go thuúirt go nent hófil le chéile le cúcht an spirit néamh sinna tá páirtí gorp agus í bhfuil Christ. Tuach an cuimhna hir na dia daga se fód an dain neartís na cát nach í. I cuidead an ar bapa Printius agus len ar naspach Brendan. Cuimhní freisin ar an muintear héna bhForbás. Agus í ag súla he séirí glóbhar cuimhní ar siúd ile atá imi ar slína fíorna agus fáid rumphuis jabci solas do glóra. Sé an tróchra orin ile imprimidart an is cimiúsin a bheith páirteach sa bathe chéirí chun tú a bhhaú agus a glóra í cuideata na maid na muirimar dé. Na néh aspel agus na néh vilar in the Holsherívanál through the walk Isa Christ. Agus is tríd agus leis agus am a thuta gach an óragus lo gutsi í an tar le cúta or éis an spirit néh trí héal le saoil. Amen. Scuimiis chun an ahar faoir an mún ar slán a chóir dúna dhéanam ar nahar a tarnah go léifar denim go dragad a rialt. Gnéint de har an dalah mar néantar an nabh. Ánar an leid fúil trúr dúna inniu agus matan ar bhíocha mar bhá méid na bheith cúnaí féin. Snadig sní gathú séirsna olc. Amen. Séirsna gach olc imprimidorta hírna túr dún siachan le ar lenan is gomaimid le cawd a rógra. Séir an becha í gcónaí agus slán ile bhúirt agus sin ag súil go le hárach. Le teacht a slán a hóra ís de Christ. Hier níos a Christús le daspel fágam sí chanig webh tugam díomh mo hiacháin. Ná féidir ar becin ach a creideamh daglaise trú siacantí agus éintina chéile faoi mar a selle tain. Tas a bhardan agus a rialaíonn trí héal le saoil. Agus in ar grítheadú chuirbis nóda chéile go bhfuil siachan adrans siachan libh. A únje agus peci an dain sin tróchra orín. A únje agus peci an dain sin tróchra orín. A únje agus peci an dain túrdún siachan. Seo hé únje seo hin té a hogan peci an dain. Is mean do siúd fúr cuire chun séra an úna hírna ní fiúme Juk mar híon arbeit sin fabul agus spéis má an. Is a creidim gohfuil tú I láthair, gramthú thar gach éanaí agus is mínam thu tlachu is teacham a anam targus spiridálta thugam. Tlacham is teacham chríostichu agus éintime héin go thomlan leat, ná ligum scarú leat cuithe. Amen. Níomh, the Conagwith. Shinam Dorway and Upwell. Top piece of street farm and Chins Dillog on piece of Shinata or in television and later show. There is something about Christmas, there is something about it that creeps inside and finds the child in you. Put the kettle on, we'll have a cup of tea. It'll be more than the kettle put on today. So you can have a cup of tea before you start the work. And I'm sure there'll be many volunteers to help with the cleaning up afterwards. But I hope it'll be very precious time and everything will go well. As I mentioned there, there's a time that this day is much bigger than ourselves here, that all the connections we have with people far and wide. Small reflection there in the Dillog. Christmas is a time of presence and a time of absence. It's a time that celebrates family togetherness and a time when the loss of family members is most acute. It is a time for coming home and a time when not being able to do so is felt extremely. Christmas is a time of celebration and of lament. Carry the two close together in a very precious way. And that lovely line from John O'Donoghue, let absence be filled with hidden presence. Just so before finishing, thank everyone who was involved in so many ways during the year, making this house in bhForbacha a very special place and is cared for, looked after, and the participation that happens within it is magic in its own right. Long may it last. Finally, to Katie and Ciara and Sean, nach raibh go hintach. Greater love had no young people than they would leave their presence at home and come and sing here on Christmas morning, Mille weeks. And we continue on our journey to, and I must of course mention Niamh, as sort of the anchor here today, Mille weeks Niamh. Niamh's mother Mary had to isolate yesterday, unfortunately, so she couldn't play the organ last night. So our good wishes go to her in her isolation. That's the life we're living in at the moment, unfortunately. Let us continue to journey forward, to journey well, and to journey safely. Here na sé anina sédo aniu stána hor an down around the clan hain dean. Gavod sé rón is jock in the Réalt mar a warden as rian sé lat trí hail the sail. Ground Shearna live. Agus an benus Jera. Gra Bruntus and Credif Bannacht and Docus, agus Sheikh and Gra J. Live Illig. Agus le Wordland, Kibba Archer, which is Scapi, her Fadna Dullig, agus Ire, Gra Mila, agus the Festa Do. Tan Tartan Heart, Weekes, Legia.
By so shall